So we're just going to go through a quick little review on your warm-up. So I'm going to go over my answers here. So we're going to start with distributing this to I. So we get 6I cubed plus 10I squared. And if you remember, we should have our clock drawn up here. 1I, negative 1, negative I. So I to the third, if we divide it by 4, you get 0.75, which means you go a quarter of the way around your clock. So that turns into negative I, and it is times that 6, so that makes it negative 6I. 10I squared, I squared, 2 divided by 4 is 0.5, so that means you're going halfway around your circle. So that means it becomes 10 times negative 1, so it becomes negative 10. But we can't leave it in this order. We have to do complex numbers. So negative 10 minus 6I. That is your final answer for that one. And it has to be in that order. You will lose points if you leave it like we had it initially. To express the product of negative 6 plus I and negative 6 minus I in simplest form. So product means we're multiplying, so I'm going to write them out right next to each other. There's no plus or minus sign in the middle. So we're going to do our distributive property. So negative 6 times negative 6 is 36. Negative 6 times negative I is a positive 6I. And that one is all distributed. And now I'm going to do my I. I times negative 6 is negative 6I. I times negative I is negative I squared. Remember, it's like your x's. You add those exponents. 6I, negative 6I. Those cancel each other out. I squared is negative 1. So that means we have 36 minus negative 1. Subtracting a negative really means we're adding. So our final answer here is 37. Going on to the next one. So again, we are multiplying here. So I'm going to multiply just the first two parentheses together. So 4 times 5 gives me 20. 4 times negative 3I is negative 12I. 2I times 5 is 10I. And then we have minus 6I squared. And that is all still times the 1 plus I. I haven't done anything with that one yet. But before I do, I'm actually going to clean this up a little bit because this is a lot of stuff here. So remembering I squared really means it's negative 1. So negative 6 times negative 1 is a plus 6. So 20 plus 6 is 26. Combining my i's, I get a negative 2I. So now this is going to be much simpler to multiply out again. 26 times 1, 26 times I gives us 26 plus 26I. So now the negative 2I we're going to distribute, so I get negative 2I minus 2I squared. So again, cleaning things up, I squared means that's times negative 1, which makes this a positive 2. So 26 plus 2 is 28. 26I minus 2I is 24I. There's your final answer there. Express 5 over I in the form A plus BI. We cannot have I in the denominator, so you need to multiply the top and bottom times that. So that gives me negative 5I over I squared. I squared, though, is negative 1. So this is 5I over negative 1, or negative 5I is really the other way we would write it, but this way is also acceptable. Over here, we're dividing, but again, we've got to get these negatives out from under the radicals first. So this becomes 5 minus I divided by 3I. And the only thing you have to multiply by is the I. That's what we're trying to get rid of. So I times 5 is 5I. I times I is I squared. And then this becomes 3I squared. So again, I squared is negative 1. This one is negative 1. So we have 5 plus negative 1. So So 5i plus 1 over negative 3, because 3 times negative 1 gives us negative 3. Can't leave it this way because it's not in a plus bi form. We just have to flip the top around. So 1 plus 5i over negative 3. Last one over here, multiply the top and bottom times the conjugate. Top is nice and easy to multiply because it's all a 1. So that just becomes 1 plus 3i. Bottom, multiply the first ones, multiply the last one. So 1 times 1, negative 3i times 3i. So that gives us a negative 9i squared. Again, the whole reason you multiply by that conjugate is to get rid of that middle term, so we don't have to multiply. That becomes a negative 1. So I have 1 plus 3i over 1 plus 9, because negative times negative makes that a positive. So it's 1 plus 3i over 10. And that's your final answer for that one.